Welcome back, everybody, to another Pickled Dragon Unscripted. I am here with the Cuddy Sark, 100 Years of Adventure, gift from the sister-in-law, so we're still working on that. And of course, we always have the ever beautiful and talented Dracoya with us. How's it going, Dracoya?
I am drinking tea because I had a little too much fun last night.
That was a good time. Yes, we
Mhm.
stayed up late, planning sessions, tasting sessions. Well, it was just flat out drinking sessions. Good times were had. Um, but in any case, it's been a fun week. Uh,
Yeah.
we've done more drinking than planning and filming, but that's okay because we are still here for you guys. So before I get going, I want to remind everybody that the talented Dracoya is taking commissions for
Oh,
Christmas painted miniatures of the finest quality. So if you are looking for a talented painter to do work for a player in your game or a DM that you want to do something special for, contact Dracoya at what is it? Dracoya minis at gmail.com. Is that right?
mhm. It's also in our description below.
Yeah, that too. Check that out. So anyway, we got something new for you. We're taking a look, another look here at the D&D 2024 6e 5.5, whatever you want to call it, and just noticing weird things going on.
Yeah.
So we did a video not long ago about the divine lawnmower, which was like spirit guardians on steroids. Like you could haul the person who cast spirit guardians around the battlefield.
Yes.
Um, and it didn't, it just like blasted through monsters at AoE fashion. It was a disaster. Like to me, it's like video game shenanigans, right?
Hmm.
Well, we have another one. Um, and I thought it was strange because conjure woodland beings is basically the same thing, but it has a chaser on it to the spell that actually encourages that maneuver. So well, I'm gonna share my screen. Share there. All right, so here we got conjure woodland beings, right?
Hmm.
Uh, the the uh the spell does the emanation. So whenever a creature enters the emanation, they have to take damage 5d8 instead of the 3d8 or half on a save, and it's
That's
force.
so much damage.
Yes, and it's force damage, so that's pretty impressive. There's no resistances to force damage that I'm aware of, but I could be wrong. It's a new addition. But you notice it says, in addition, you can take a disengage action as a bonus action for the spell's duration, which is 10 minutes. So that caster, that druid or ranger on that round can be just sprinting around the battlefield, and disengage is active. So they're not going to be provoking anything. They're just going to be blasting everything as they run around the battlefield.
That
Uh,
is so broken.
Yes, that is the hungover broken protest right there. Um, and then as we mentioned with the divine lawnmower, you have somebody else grab that person and haul them around the battlefield, or you have them on a horse or whatever the case might be. But it's just another example of a lawnmower, you know.
Right.
And I also wanted to point out that all of the conjure spells no longer actually summon creatures. They seem to all create a field of damage where there's like kind of like spirit guardians. There's just like a field of spirits in there doing damage to foes, which is a little less fun. If you look at the summon spells, like summon elemental, you can still summon a creature, but you're limited to the one they're all spirits now. So if you summon a fire elemental, it's a fire spirit. If you summon a fiend spirit or a fiend summon fiend. It's a fiend spirit. It's you're
I
no
wonder why
longer.
they made that change. That's such a weird, nitpicky little change.
It's they're streamlining everything. They're streamlining. So there's no variety anymore. There's no more like I'm at a chasm, in third edition, I'm gonna summon a hippogriff to fly us all across.
Yeah.
No, there's no more of that, or I'm gonna summon a pack of wild dogs to help us in this battle, or
Mm-hmm.
like being able to pick the creature that's right for the circumstance. This it's to me, it's like another example of just turning everything into vanilla pudding.
Yeah, it's not even challenging anymore.
But these spells, the way the spells are laid out, it just seems like spellcasters are getting such a big buff.
They
Like
are.
the spells are much more damaging. And I can't imagine. And I know that this is how they worked in Baldur's Gate 3, and they wanted to emulate all that. They come out and
Mm-hmm.
said, "Hey, it was so popular, we're going to make it so for the tabletop game." So if you're saying to yourself, it just feels like a video game mechanic. Well, you're right. It is a video game mechanic because that's exactly where they're pulling it from. But the shenanigans doesn't stop there because there was another one I saw recently, and that is Prayer of Healing. So Prayer of Healing, it just like before, you got your 2d8 hit points of healing on a 10-minute caster time. But
Yeah.
now it also you gain the benefit of a short rest after it's cast. So for 10 minutes, you get the benefit of a short rest. And I don't know if that means you can spend hit dice like you would normally be able to on a short rest, but all of the features that you have used would have been immediately refreshed. Um,
I would guess that means that you can also use your hit dice as well. I would guess that it just includes all those things that you get the all the benefits of the short rest. You get extra HP, you get to replenish some of the things that, need can be replenished, some of your spells.
Yeah, I mean it's that's a huge spell. Now it's only usable once per long rest, or at least on a particular target. But somebody did point out that there is a way to cast Prayer of Healing with that 10-minute cooldown or
Uh-huh.
casting time in the middle of combat. So like all of the fighters in the combat use their um you know action surges, and all of the warlocks do their things, and all of the monks use up all their key points, and everyone blows everything, and then the priest uses divine intervention at level 10. So it used to be that the DM would kind of like get creative about how the the deity would intervene on behalf of their faithful follower, right?
Right, right.
But now they're able to cast a spell using a magic action, uh, without expending a spell slot or needing the material components, which if you use it on this or any other spell that has a massive casting time, suddenly like in the middle of combat, everyone like gets out their teacups and has some crumpets and relaxes while the monsters stand there and wait for their inevitable demise. You know,
Oh, I love that visual image that you've painted for us. Thank you.
it's good times. So yeah, so a little bit of shenanigans there with the divine. I don't know. I mean, it just feels like they've streamlined all the creativity out of the game. Now and I know this was the argument with 3.5, but there's so much in the way of since everything is so spelled out and so rigid in the definition of the spells, or even the effects of the spell. So you're not getting a variety of animals to choose from. Now you're getting this one spirit. Um, it definitely feels like it's more of like a Lego style game where you're going to use this block, and it's going to go together perfectly, and you're going to know exactly how it's going to lay out because that's what the rules state. And
Yeah.
And you know the players are going to break it all. Like the players are going to go in there and they're going to find every loophole in the book.
Of course, man, I was notorious for that when I was playing. I was that person that a lot of the DMs probably hated because I wouldn't stop asking questions and arguing and well, hang on now. There's no comma there, so the definition is completely different than what you're saying.
Commas
Yeah.
make a difference. They do. They're for reals. Yeah.
Comma is the difference between let's eat grandma and let's eat grandma.
Boom. That just happened. So one of the things that WotC has said is that they are planning on making monsters more powerful. They're going to be tweaking monsters to give them a little chaser, if you
I
will.
hope so because even in 5e, I always had to make my monsters like 2 levels above what my players were supposed to be able to handle
I
because it
customize
was cheap.
100% of everything. Customize everything.
I bet you
My
do.
monsters had class levels. They had everything. Um, if my players, I told my players at my table, if you want to play a rune knight, I guarantee you I will make monster rune knights to face. And none of them made a rune knight because they knew it was broken.
Yeah.
Um,
I
I,
mean, and that's valid. If your players are allowed to do it, then your opponent should be able to do the same.
exactly. Twilight clerics abound, all amongst the goblins.
Yeah.
So they've talked about making monsters more powerful, and they've dropped some sneak peeks of monsters that are coming up in the upcoming monster manual. And the first was that I saw was the Kuatoa, and here it was, which looked kind of cool. I mean, you look at the Kuatoa, we're gonna zoom in here, and the the only thing the only big thing that I noticed, I mean, this otherworldly perception, sticky nets. I mean, they always had like weird weapons and stuff. A strange spear, it still does the exact same amount of damage as a normal spear. So how is it strange? Like, in any case, they get reactions now. So as a reaction, they're slippery. So if they're grappled, they can wriggle out of it. And they have a sticky shield, which players have a really easy DC to overcome.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay, this doesn't look like it's that much harder. So you have a couple of different reactions that could help a little bit.
yeah, I don't know that it outweighs. I still don't see. But again, this is just like the first example we saw. Um, the I like how they lay out the stats. That's pretty cool. I like
Yeah,
that they
instead of
show
listing
how the
it.
saves are laid out like that. Like when I first started DMing 5e, I was confused on the saves because if they didn't get a bonus, they weren't listed anywhere. So,
Right.
you know, it just took a second for me to like, oh yeah, okay. But in any case, there's your Kuatoa. Here we have Mr. Giant Spider.
Ooh, my favorite.
And it's side by side with the original 5e spider.
Yeah, blow it up a little bit more, Matt.
Can you see it? Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit more. There we go. Thanks.
All right. And from what I can see, it's pretty much almost exactly the same, except they don't have web sense anymore, which is weird. Uh,
Hmm. Yeah, that is weird. So
so
it's
they
not,
can't.
this isn't harder. This is actually less hard.
Yeah, it
This,
used to be that, well, the saving throw for the poison was removed. So, but they lowered the poison damage at the same time. So, yeah, I mean it's almost the exact same in the end.
it's dumb.
Uh, the it looks like, and it also they took away the poison condition from the spider. But this web, which used to be an attack roll, an
Hmm.
ranged attack, turns into just a saving throw. Which I don't know. I don't know which I prefer. I think I I think I almost prefer the attack roll myself, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess you guys can argue over that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, let us know which one you guys prefer. The old one or the new one. Let us know what
That's
you
such
guys
a
think.
that's such a minor change. I don't really see the spider as being all that improved. What else we got here? We got skeletons, which when I went through these guys, I really couldn't find much of a difference at all. Um, the layouts are really pretty, pretty layouts. Yay.
Yeah,
Artwork,
I
that
guess
artwork's
that's
good.
something.
That's some solid artwork up there.
Yeah, that is nice.
I like that. But when I went through uh the stats on these, they all look fairly similar. This flaming skeleton is kind of cool. Death burst. Um, but yeah, I mean, pretty cool. This next one is the ancient green dragon, which to me, when I looked at it compared to the old one, um, I my biggest problem with green dragons is that poison resistance um, is such an easy thing to get. Protection from poison is a second level spell.
Hmm.
And that really nerfs their biggest attack, their breath weapon.
Hmm.
Um, corrosive miasma. Yeah. Poison damage as always. So, it's interesting. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you see I mean, the dragon here has a bunch of reactions. That's cool. The ancient dragon. But what I don't see are legendary actions. Are those gone? Are the
It
le-
looks like they are gone because I mean they're not here.
and again, this is a preview, so this isn't necessarily the
It
final
could
deal.
change, but
Do they?
it's not looking great. It's not looking like WotC actually fulfilled their promise to make things a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they were just kind of tweaked. But the reactions are cool. But let me know what you guys tell me. Were legendary actions removed from the game? I'll have to look that up because again, I haven't really I don't have the new book, but I have somebody who has the book who feeds me stuff when I ask questions. So I'm not really aware of any of the massive changes, but let us know what you think. Is this green dragon missing its legendary actions for a reason, or is it just maybe this is a preview and they just left them out of the preview? Um,
And before you guys go, you guys should go to Fox Bite Hobbies. It's actually in the description below. Go to Fox Bite and use code DRACOYA, DRACOYA, for 10% off your first order. They have amazing paintbrushes. I've actually been doing some NMM with my paintbrushes. They also have a really great backpack. So if you're planning on going to any conventions or doing any travel at all, this backpack will help you carry it all. It'll help you carry your miniatures, paints, brushes, maps, terrain, and more. So
books, pencils,
everything. Use code
scraps of paper
Dracoya.
for secret notes to pass to people.
Sure. Yeah, everything. It's a
Yes.
great backpack. So go to their site. It's in the description below and use code Dracoya for 10% off your order.
It is very good stuff. We'll haul the backpack out for you guys to see in the next one.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Cool. Comment, like, subscribe, and hydrate.
Hydrate. Have another water on Dracoya.